Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Charlestown Races here on Friday. It is the 28th of August, 2026. It's Charlestown Classic Night, and we're going to look at the big races, the stakes races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to follow me on X at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And also join me tomorrow for my Saratoga Travers preview. It looks like it's going to be an excellent card up there at Saratoga, so I hope you join me for my Travers preview. But we're going to look at some of the big races on the program tonight. We're going to look at races 8, 9, 10, 11. Not all the stakes races on the program, just races 8, 9, 10, and 11. So let's get to it right now. The eighth race, it is the Pink Ribbon Stakes. It's going for a $300,000 purse. Race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the main track of the bull ring here. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse, Mystic Lake. I'm going to go 3-5-8-6 in the superfecta. 3-5-8-6 super. Top selection of 3 horse Mystic Lake. This 5-year-old mare by Motown here. Safi Joseph Jr. trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently in the Memorial Day Sprint at Lone Star, 6 furlongs, 25th of May, and he finished third by 8.5 lengths that day. And he was with them early on the front end. He just yielded before the wire. Maybe just asking a quick turnaround from his previous race. Also came up a pretty tough race. I think refreshing here at Charlestown, where he's run very well in the past around the bull ring. I think he can improve and get the job done. 2 back in the Vagrancy and Aqueduct, 6.5 furlongs, third of May. He finished second by 1.25 lengths. Grammar Girl really came home clear. This horse is just wide and just not excelling. The winner ran a lot better than her, but she still ran an okay buyer. And then the Madison, very tough competition. 7 furlongs at Keelan, finishing 6 by 26.25 lengths. Akaton was a next star winner. Ours Disaster was a next star winner and finished third. This horse absolutely didn't, was basically there as a spectator, not a runner. That's how much this horse ran that day. Actually beat 2 horses home. Those other 2 other horses were just not very good either. But it was just tough competition. Won the Minaret over the over the winter at Tampa. Came back to a very nice handicap at Tampa prior to that. His most recent races haven't been half bad. Like I said, he won this race last year with a 95 buyer. Last year, he had more races coming to this one. That might be his biggest question. He is coming off of about a 3-month bench, but I think he's good enough to overcome that. 7-2. We'll use him on the ticket. I think the 5 horse here, Irish Maxima, for Frankie Pennington and John Service Quinn also. He's been a very good horse for John Service. Won the Grade 2 Ruffian and Aqueduct over the winter and mile in May. Off the bench in the Dancing Beauty at Delaware over the 6th last month. She won by a length. She probably needed the race, but she got the job done. Has done everything right from about 6 furlongs all the way to a mile. Coming here to 7 furlongs, she's coming to a bull ring track, but I think she has enough forwardly pace to get some pieces late. I'm definitely going to use her in the pick 6 that begins with this race. It's a mandatory payout pick 6, so I hope you play it. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Charlestown, it is the Pink Ribbon. Going to take the 3 horse Mystic Lake. Give kudos to the 5 horse Irish Maxima. Where are we? 3-5-8-6 Super, 3-5 in the multi race. Heading over to the 9th race from Charlestown, which is the Robert Hilton Memorial. It's going for a $500,000 purse. Race for 3-year-olds here. 8 horses are going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the main track. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse, Solitude Dude. I'm going to go 3-1-2-7 in the superfecta. 3-1-2-7 super. Top selection of 3 horse, Solitude Dude. This 3-year-old colt by Johan here. Seth Joseph Jr. trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the mount. And this horse was originally scheduled to run at Saratoga, the King's Bishop, or the Allen Jerkins. And I handicapped actually. My Travers selections are done. They've been done since Monday afternoon. And when I was handicapping, and then I handicapped this card afterwards, I had a feeling handicapping the King's Bishop that they'll probably scratch Solitude Dude and run him here in the lesser quality spot at Charlestown. Even before looking at the Charlestown races, I saw on Twitter this afternoon that they're actually going to scratch at Saratoga and run here, and I think that's a good idea because I think he has a logical chance here. The King Bishop, not so much, but they ran this horse most recently in the Amsterdam over the 6.5 at Saratoga, where he finished second by head. He had forwardly paced, but local knowledge really ran home clear. From where he's drawn today, he'd be forwardly paced, and I just think he can improve. Savi's numbers this summer at Saratoga just haven't been very good. His numbers here at Charlestown when he ships in for this big fixture in general have been very nicely done. It's the only fixture he really sets in also. But 2 back in the Woody Stevens at Saratoga over the 7. He finished 7 by 20.25 lengths. Englishman Freak that day. Crude Velocity great horse. Obliteration, good horse. This horse just wasn't getting into it. Those are proper grade one quality horses in the division. And then the Bay Short Aqueduct prior to that over the 7/8, winning by 2 lengths. On paper, he was much the best, and he proved it on the racetrack. He flew home clear. They tried on the Derby Trail in the Fountain of Youth, but he didn't really show up behind Commandment. He wants to go sprinting. He's back at it today. If he can handle 2 turns, he can win. If there's a small upsetter, I think the one horse Corona de Oro can win for Brian Hernandez and Dallas Stewart. Placed a few weeks ago in the Ellis Park Derby over the mile where he finished second by 4 lengths. The winner was much the best igniter, but this horse, he got down the race course well. I do like him cutting back in trip. He won over the 7 furlongs at Ellis in the Lowndes race back in the 6th of July, winning by 1/4 lengths, closing up in the back of the pack. That was a very good race, even though he had to check early on. But the speed figure has come back little low. Came back with an 86 last time out. That can definitely win, but and he has run a 92 in the past, so he does have some speed. I like that he is training well since his most recent race. The rail's not ideal, but it wouldn't surprise me if he wins. We'll use him in the pick four or the pick six to possibly light up, but I do think this is Solitude Dude's race. But to recount my selection for the ninth from Charlestown, it is the Robert Hilton Memorial. Going to take a 3-horse Solitude Dude. Give kudos to the 1-horse Corona de Oro. Where are we? 3-1-2-7 Super, 3-1 in the multi race. Let's head over to race number 10 from Charlestown, which is the Charlestown Oaks. It's a grade two event going for $750,000 purse race for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 9 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs in the Charlestown Oaks. The 7 furlong trip is the distance of the weekend, it seems, between here and Saratoga. It seems like every race on Saturday afternoon at Saratoga is 7 furlongs, except the Travers. But they should run at 7 furlongs. Maybe the division will get a little bit faster, but that's for another day. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 5-horse Love Your Neighbor. I'm going to go 5-3-1-4 in the superfecta. 5-3-1-4 super. Top selection of 5-horse Love Your Neighbor. This 3-year-old filly by Constitution. Michael Stidham trains with Luis Saez gets the mounts. They ran the horse most recently in the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks at Delaware, mile 16th, 13th of June, and he won by 1/4 lengths that day. He had a very wide trip, but he settled well. When they said go with him, he flew home clear. That was a very good race. He's coming here off of the bench, back to 7 furlongs where he ran decently off the bench and off the 7 furlongs in his past. I think this horse can improve and get the job done. 2 back in the 8 bells at Churchill, 7 furlongs 1st of May. He finished second by 1/4 lengths that day, and he was just wide and just never really getting into it. She didn't run bad. She ran okay. She ran an 82 by. She improved with the next start out with a 91, but she got down. She ran okay, but she needs something more. She ran 2 back or 3 back in the Fairgrounds Oaks over the mile 16th at the Fairgrounds. I don't think she wanted to go the trip that day. I think she needed more experience under her belt. She finished third by 3.5 lengths, where she was just wide, never getting into it. And then the Rachel Alexandra, she finished second by half a length, and she just got caught in the stretch. She ran her heart out, but I do love her back to a sprinting trip, especially off the bench. She's training well at Delaware. I'm going to use her on the ticket. I think the 3-horse Niche for Robert Truss and Dylan Davis can win also. Coming out of the Lady Erie at Prescott over the 6 furlong, this horse is a Florida bred. I took the horse to Prescott, where she finished second by 1/4 lengths, where she just got caught late. It was her first start in about 2 months. She needed the race. I think second off the bench, training well, Belmont. I think this horse can improve, but she's going to have to get around the bull ring. She won a very nice allowance race going 6.5 in mid-May at Aqueduct, winning by 3 lengths on the front end. She just won in a hand ride, a very good race, and then broke the main at Laurel going 6 furlongs, won by 1/4 lengths. 79 bar, not fast at all, but it was still a very good race. She improved a lot from her previous turf race, which was only 45 bar, where she didn't run a lick. But she's training well since her most recent race. She showed potential last time out. At 8-1, we'll use her in the late pick four, or the what do you call that? There's a pick four that begins with this race, but the pick six, the mandatory pick six. Let's promote that. But to recount my selection now for the 10th from Charlestown, it is the Charlestown Oaks. We're going to take the 5-horse Love Your Neighbor. Give kudos to the 3-horse Niche. Where are we? 5-3-1-4 Super, 5-3 in the multi race. The 11th race now from Charlestown. It is the Charlestown Classic. It's a grade 2 event going for $1 million purse race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 10 horses entered to go 1,800 meters or a mile and an eighth on the main track. And I absolutely love, before the pandemic, they used to run this race. I'm going to say it was usually the week after, about 2 weeks before the Derby, somewhere around there. And it was a good fixture. But I never liked that it originally was a night fixture. Then they moved it to the afternoon, and it did okay during the night, during the afternoon. But I always loved it personally. I like night racing in general. I think every racetrack should, if they're able to run at night. but that's a Gen Z millennial thing. But during the pandemic, they moved it to late August, and they moved it back to a night fixture. And it's been, it's in the perfect spot. Horse is just not quite ready for those big Grade One races like the Pacific Classic or the Woodward, like we used to run here at Saratoga. It's a good spot, and you see some of these horses coming out of these races and running really well in the fall, especially these sprinting races. But yeah, I like it. But my top selection here in the Classic, I'm gonna go take a shot with the 6 horse Bullard. I'm gonna go 6, 9, 10, 8 in the Superfecta. 6, 9, 10, 8 Super. Top selection 6 horse Bullard. This 4-year-old colt by Gunrunner. Michael McCarthy trains. Kaisuke Kimura gets them out. Or Kazushi Kimura gets them out. Sorry, I always messed up his name. But they ran the horse most recently on the 11th of July at Prairie. Mile 8th in the Cornhusker Handicap, and he finished second by 3 1/4 lengths behind Navajo Warrior for Sappy that day. And this horse just kind of sat on stalking trip. He just never quickened up. He ran okay, but he just never quickened up. He ran a 102 higher. That could definitely win here. From where he's drawn, he's going to have to save some ground. But I think he can improve and get the job done. Two back on the 10th of June at Churchill, 1 turn mile and optional 80. He finished third by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and he was just wide. The winner, Touchy, came home clear, but again, he ran his heart out. And then Derby weekend at Churchill, 1 mile and optional 80. He finished second by 3 lengths, drawn 14 of 14. He moved a lot that day, but from where he was drawn, it was an incredible race, but he still can improve. He was the at mercy at the poster on the spring. He ran a turfway prior to that, a mile 16th, option 40, 12 of 12, finished third by half length, getting a good turn a foot late, but you need to save some ground. He has a better poster here today. I think he is forwardly paced. I could do wonders here. At 6 to 1, we're going to use him. I think the 9 horse here, Barbarian Runner for Forest Boyce and Henry Walters could win also. Coming out of the Yorktown at Colonial over the 9 furlongs, 25th of July, where he finished second by half a length that day, or head, excuse me. He was dueling on the front end. He just yielded at the wire, but he ran his heart out. 98 bar could definitely win here. Bars are showing up a little high at Colonial in the dirt, but he ran his heart out. He ran a 97 Byron Victor in the deputy minister at or testimony at Laurel with a mile on the 8th in late June. One of my nose on the front end. That was a very good race, and then won a very nice allowance race at Laurel back in late May. He's coming here to Charlestown. He started twice here in the past. He has one victor local, winning the Robert Hilton Memorial last season at 9.5 to 1. I'm going to give him a shot here, but the poster isn't ideal with him. But I think he has ability that could do wonders here. And, don't throw out the old man, the 10 horse Skippy Lawnstocking. He's a cool horse. He's, making his 40th start today. If he wins today, if he places today, he'll be over $6 million probably in earnings. He's very cool, but and he won the Pegasus early this year, came back to win the Essex Handicap, came back to win the Alashiba, or place in the Alashiba, and then he just kind of ran up clunker in the Monmouth Cup. But the Sappy horses this summer just haven't been running well up north. I think coming back to Charlestown, if he gets a good trip, I think he could win. Last year he just kind of yielded. He came out of this race a very, very tired horse. He ran a very quick turnaround also from behind a very tough Whitney last year, where he just never got going. But he lost to Sierra Leone, a British Cup Class winner in last year's Whitney. Came back to run 3 weeks later in the Charlestown Classic, didn't show up. Just tired horse. This year he's a little bit time to races. Last time out, it wasn't the world's deepest race, even though Knightsbridge ran a 122 buyer. He came back to run a little bit slower buyer after that. Still triple digit though. But 3 to 1, training well at Saratoga. I think he's a lot better horse coming to this race than he was last year. It'd be kind of cool for the old man to get another one. Maybe get over $7 million before he retires. But to recap my selection now for the 11th from Charlestown, it's the Grade $2 million Charlestown Classic. Going to take the 6 horse Bullard as the top selection. Give kudos to the 9 horse Barbarian Runner and the 10 horse Skippy Lawnstocking. 6, 9, 10, 8 Super, 6, 9, 10 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on X at Horse Racing Kit 5 and join me tomorrow for my Travers preview from Saratoga. Good luck, everybody.